Hello, I'm Mario Tonaguzzi with Business Spotlight. Joining me today is Frank Kernick, who is owner and developer of Spring Creek Mountain Village in Canmore, Alberta. Thanks, Frank, for joining us today.
No worries. Glad to join you.
All right, so you have a little bit of exciting news to share with us, the launch of Black Swift Lodge. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's the next building in our phase of construction as we move basically from the north to the south in Spring Creek here in Canmore. It's a 50-unit residential condo building, ranging in size from 600 square feet to about 1,700 square feet. We launched it just last weekend. We generally launch our buildings in the fall in September, and we generally go in the ground and usually about February, March. And they're usually possessions are about 2 years from just after in the fall of 2 years from now. So it's Black Swift. It's got amazing views to the west, towards Chinaman at Helling Peak, and to the south, overlooking Spring Creek. And yeah, it has a hot tub. Our hot tub area, beautiful gym inside, underground parking, storage. All our condos in Spring Creek are to the highest spec that we can probably make. Very high-end spec that we do in Spring Creek, including the exterior. And also one thing we do a lot different than other developers is we build very green. We use geothermal heating and cooling in all our buildings. We have our own internal irrigation system with non-used, non-potable water, have a high energy rating. General buildings are about 40% more efficient than the standard base building that we have to all design to. Yeah, so we're quite excited for this next building and this next launch. It's an interesting market, interesting times, but so far it looks pretty positive. We're hoping to sell approximately 50% on launch, and then we generally do a price increase after that. And yeah, right now we should be about 20 to 22 of the 50 units sold within just over a week.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
So fun times.
So tell me, for those out there that don't know, can you describe, first of all, where Spring Creek Mountain Village is located?
Yeah, so Spring Creek Mountain Village is located basically a block from Main Street, Canmore, and it's a beautiful piece of property. Originally was 70 acres, 20 of those were creeks. We were surrounded by both Policeman Creek on one side and Spring Creek on the other, and the two creeks join right at the end of the property. It's like this beautiful island in the heart of downtown Canmore. Like I said, it just blocks walking distance to the entrance of Spring Creek. And these lands were originally my grandfather's dairy farm lands from 1927. A lot of people don't know that. They moved here, my grandpa in 27, had the Canmore dairy and supplied all the milk to all the miners in Canmore. My dad and uncle made it into a trailer park campground in the 50s to the 90s. And I was born and raised on this property. I helped put in water and sewer lines and clean washrooms and all the fun things growing up as a kid. But I did my engineering in Calgary, moved away and worked in Calgary 5 years and came back in 1990 and started in land development myself here, and did other projects throughout Canmore and Invermere Valley, including Lakeview Meadows and hotel in Calgary, the Claim Hotel, and a few other projects. And then in 2002, I bought the land off my father and my uncle and started the vision I had for Spring Creek, the planning process to take it to the next iteration of what it's going to be, because the trailer park campground was getting old and things were falling apart. And yeah, I knew it had to be something better. Higher and best use was something better than what it was. And that took me 2004 to get the redevelopment plan approved. And we started construction on the first major building in 2006 and all the infrastructure to get into Spring Creek. Of course, we had 3 buildings under construction, and when a little recession hit us all, it slowed us down a bit and took us a number of years to get really rolling again. And for the last sort of 6-7 years, we've been rolling with Spring Creek. And it's going to be, like I said, a build out 50 acres, about 1,000 residential units, condominiums, mostly some townhomes along the creek edge, and 250 hotel rooms. And currently have the Malcolm Hotel completed at the entrance of Spring Creek. That's a 124-room conference hotel. And about 600 of the 550, I think it's at right now, of the residential units complete to date. Yeah, and it's a beautiful development with build out 2.5 kilometers creekside trails.
So in terms of the number of residential buildings, how many do you have currently that have already been built?
Just previously said about 550 of them, the approximate 950 should be at build out. We estimate at this time are built out. Two buildings under construction right now, both are approximately 50 units. Both that is Timberstone Mountain Lodge and Arnica. And then again, we're just launched this next 50 unit building, Black Swift. So yeah, right now 550 complete, another 100 in process of construction. And our goal is generally one building a year is about what we can build here in Spring Creek. So we, besides Black Swift, we have 5 other potential condo buildings to build, and potentially, another 150 townhomes or so along the creek edge.
So out of the 550, though, how many are actually completed right now, buildings?
Oh, they're all complete. That's what I said. The
So
550.
How many are there? Sorry?
550, they're all completed and turned over and people living in them.
Okay.
So far, yes.
And how many actual buildings are there?
Oh, approximately 9 buildings that we have completed.
Okay.
One of them is a seniors building called Origin at Spring Creek. Okay. It's 115 units. We count that in half just for count purposes with the town. But it's a beautiful high-end seniors building in Canmore with a memory care wing, about 15 units memory care. We do provide a form of assisted living. We have a home care contract, and it has its own pool and own pub and arts room and theater, as well as one of those 9 buildings in Spring Creek.
Okay, super. Now, Frank, tell me a little bit about the audience and the customers that are first of all that have bought into Spring Creek Village already, Mountain Village, but also the ones to come. Like, who's buying these properties? Who wants to buy these properties?
Well, first, my zoning is very unique. We're direct control. So out of the 1,000 units, I can build 300 of them are what we call tourist home designated. And so I generally designate a building as tourist home designated. And that allows people to live in it full time, rent it by the month, or they can rent it by the night. So those generally are people that are two or three parts. They're either looking for just 100% investment that they're going to put it in and rent it nightly, or there's sometimes weekenders that know, I'm not going to use it enough for myself at this point in my life, that, I'll rent it when I'm not using it, and I'll take it out of the rental program when I want to use it my personal self. And sometimes those people might be a little younger in age and they're looking for that investment, but plan to use it more and more as they get closer to retirement age. The second one is our strictly residential buildings, and they're generally people either from Canmore that are looking to downsize, or people from Calgary looking to downsize, or they're people that are looking strictly for a recreational property for themselves and their family, and don't maybe want to be in a building that has a rental program. They want to something that maybe is a little more private, and they get to know their neighbor. As we really try and encourage that regardless in Spring Creek. We do have our own property owners association. We have a replica building in the old Canmore Opera House that we have all our fun events in, whether it's wine nights or chili cook-offs or different things. So we're also trying to create community in here. So the people that do have recreational property for themselves and the homeowners that live here full time, we're really trying to create that sense of community as well in Spring Creek. And out of those units that aren't in the tourist home designated buildings, we're probably 70% that are permanent residents in Spring Creek, which is unique to some of the other developments on the other sides of the valley that are more recreational property. We do get a lot of full-time residents or part-time. They might be gone down to Arizona for the winter, like a lot of people still want to do.
Tell me a little bit about Canmore itself and the appeal of Canmore. Why are people over the years have been flocking to that particular area of the province?
Well, our market still is probably 70% Calgary and probably another, Calgary Canmore. When I say Calgary Canmore, this is the Bow Valley area, and Calgary is our market. The rest of the market is definitely some North Edmonton and other places, Saskatchewan, and some international market, but majority I'd say is regional. And being an hour away from Calgary, an hour away from international airport, hour away from in Calgary has many sporting things. We're still very commutable. If you want to work in Canmore, I live in Canmore and work in Calgary, it's an easy commute. It's a beautiful drive both directions, and then it's appeal of the mountains. We're in a beautiful mountain community with 3 beautiful golf courses, countless ski hills with an easy drive to Canmore in the wintertime, recreational trails throughout for mountain biking, hiking. And you also have the Canmore Nordic Center, which is just, out our back door. So we have year-round activities if you really want, but a lot of people just really want to come and walk around town, or the beautiful restaurants we have in town, because we are a tourist destination and we have many wonderful restaurants and facilities within Canmore itself. So it's an easy place to get to. It's located in a great spot. And again, Spring Creek, of all the developments in the Bow Valley, it is in the heart of Canmore. We're right downtown, and to have a wonderful piece of property like this located close to downtown, owned by one developer with one vision, is a unique circumstance. You won't find it rarely anywhere else. This amount of land in a recreational community with a beautiful vision.
All right, super. Now, Frank, can you talk a little bit about the current market in Canmore, the current real estate market,
Sure.
and what about the inventory there? Are there enough properties for people who want to move there?
Yeah, well, I've been around here long enough to know the good years and the bad years. So, during the recession, Canmore was pretty well, every Calgary developer was working in Canmore in the early 2000s, and Canmore almost got overbuilt when the recession, was overbuilt when the recession hit in 2008. We're up in 450, 500 properties for resale in Canmore for a number of years, till it came down to the stable inventory again, which I always believe is around the 200 to 250 as a balanced inventory. And we were at that 3-4 years ago for a number of years. Then with the pandemic, everyone could work remotely, and there's only a few of us building here. And people realize, why do I have to be in Calgary or wherever, or Toronto? I can own a condo here in Canmore and work remotely. We have excellent fiber optic internet throughout. And so the sales just skyrocketed in Canmore over the last 3 years. And we went down to critical low inventories there about a year ago. We're down to only 50 properties for resale in the whole town of Canmore. That's single family lots, single family homes, townhomes, condos. Since then, over the last 6 months, the inventories have creeped up to a reasonable level. We're just over 200. So we're at close to a balanced inventory level right now, but pricing went a little silly last year, and it's come back down to what I believe was a healthy price, even though we had some big increases, but we're at a healthy price back after things, tempered off for the last 6 months. So right now we're at a healthy inventory, a couple hundred. We're still a little on the low side. We could still stand another 50 to 100 as a balance, because the market still is very strong here in Canmore. As you can see by just my weekend launch of my building, we're very close to the 50% goal I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and Black Swift Lodge obviously will be adding to that inventory in the next few years, and more to come, right? More to come there.
Yes, we're always looking forward to our next building we're designing. And right now, Black Swift Lodge average price is about $750 a square foot, and as we both know, costs of construction really went up over the last couple of years. But once we get this one in the ground, we'll be getting our architects to start working on the next one.
All right, super. Well, thanks very much, Frank, for joining us today.
You're welcome. And if anyone's interested in getting more information, they're welcome to Google Spring Creek and contact my sales staff and get on our contact waiting list. We do have a very large list when we do go to market, and anyone wants more information, get a hold of them, and they'll definitely help you out. So thank you too.
All right, thanks. And that was Frank Kernick, who is owner and developer of Spring Creek Mountain Village in Canmore, Alberta. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Business Spotlight. Thanks for joining us today.